17 cars on the grid. And they go. Take them a little bit of a while to find their way around here, to find a line, but once that's done, it'll really start to happen, as it always does. There's Steve Reese in 397. David Hardy in 197. Crasher Craig Smith is in there as well in number 407, just getting in quite early on, spinning the opposition aside, which he does. Comes through on the outside, up and goes straight into Dave Hardy. Ray Williams winds it up down the home straight, and they're all going far, far too fast down here. And around they start to go. 338. He's gone round Chris Broxop, then 272. Going into the wires there. Number 9, Keith Neville, avoids the sliding cars. Over on the back straight, there's more problems. Ray Williams is involved, so is Des Chandler in cars 26 and 2 on 3. Off goes Craig Smith in 407. And Chris Broxop in 338. It started early on, no doubt about it. So who's going to emerge as the man who's actually leading the pack? It's Mike James, in fact, in 417 from 172. First and second places, Mike James in 417 and Steve Hodgson in 172. Both of them finding life a little bit difficult as they went down the far side. Chris Wilkinson goes into the fence down there in car number 121. Paul Harrison joins him, and so does Dave Johnson in cars 2 and 383. Man taking avoiding action is Ray Williams in number 26 and Keith Neville in car number 9. But whilst mayhem surrounds the arena, Mike James in 417 and Steve Hodgson in 172 go blithely on without any real problems other than to each other, as Hodgson in fact has a little tap at the rear end of the James bumper, tries to muscle in on the underside of the James car, but it doesn't happen. James shuts the door very nicely, and Hodgson has to content himself with remaining in that second place. He goes wide, does Mike James, as he exited from turn 2. As a result, it's Steve Hodgson in 172 who goes into the lead. Steve Hodgson in 172 from Mike James in number 417. John Lund in third place in number 53. 272 fourth. Andy Hodgson. Still mobile. The big fellow from Peterborough. And it's halfway next time, Mr. Starter. Eric Graveling, in fact, we were talking about just halfway next time round for the lead cars. 172 Steve Hodgson. The Paul Harrison car causing a chicane over on the far side as cars exit from turn 2, and it's already created quite a goodly number of problems for all and sundry. The Dave Hardy car is slowly sinking up to its axles in the infield water splash there. Probably need divers to extricate that at the end of the meeting. John Lund is still soldiering on in number 53, but the man who's actually well out in front and opened up a useful gap at this time in the proceedings, Steve Hodgson in 172, Mike James in 417, still having a problem getting his car around that turn, and John Lund in number 53 in third place, with Andy Hodgson fourth in 272, and it's 5 next time, Steve, please. So with 5 laps to go next time round, Steve Hodgson in 172 certainly has the edge on this one. He's shot away from his challenger of but 5 or 6 laps ago, Mike James in 417. Although Mike, of course, from St Austell in Cornwall, is still holding on to that second place, with John Lund third in number 53. And Andy Hodgson fourth in 272. Hodgson certainly trying to have a go time and time again at the back end of the Lund car, and it could well happen if back markers are likely to get in the way, and indeed Hodgson trying to go through on the inside there, doesn't quite happen. Lund shuts him right out again. They all slow down to get past that problem spot there. Once again Hodgson puts the bumper in on John Lund, shoots through on the inside. Interestingly enough, that might well be a mistake, but we shall find that out before the checkered flag goes down. Steve Hodgson in car number 172 from 417 Mike James, Andy Hodgson in 272, John Lund in 53. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in the closing stages of this one now, very much so. John Lund winding it up down the home straight. Last lap board being prepared by Mr. Starter. It goes out for Steve Hodgson in 172. Second man, Mike James, he's through. So is Andy Hodgson rather, and 53, John Lund. Checkered flag time. Hodgson, Steve takes it. Second man through, Mike James. Third, Hodgson Andy, 272. Fourth, 53, John Lund. And the rest, well, not until the charts have been checked. Keep them going, Steve, if you would, please. Spread over a lap and a half, in fact, Mr. Starter, so anyone who slows down now could well find himself robbed of points and or a place, or both. Okay, Mr. Starter, the reds now, please. Junior Wayman car sponsored there by Forge Diesel Services and Hoosier Tyres. "18 cars on the grid, and Mr. Starter drops that green flag first time, no problems. Owen Brown shoots away in car number 200. He wanted to get well. Oh my goodness, that is number 79. That's gone rattling in there very hard. So has the Palmer car. That's 79 and 105. Vonzo Pete Palmer that has gone in there. Neil Long in car number 79. But whilst those two are sorting themselves out, the rest of the field have done likewise, but in not quite such drastic fashion. Murray Harrison's got himself in trouble very early on in 97, and so it's Owen Brown in number 200 who leads down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4 on the turnstile bend. Winds it up all the way down the home straight. Richard Knight in 436. .441, John Lorne there just tweaks the back end down that home straightaway, number 7 and 4, and Matthew Bennett, in his eagerness to get round Phil Bicknell, gets hooked up. Phil Bicknell throws him aside on the turnstile bend. Lisa Harter returns to the track right in front of Bicknell. There's a clang of bumpers. Lisa Harter continues in car number 24. 22 Will Yarrow's just behind, and it's all happening there just as Michael Smith pulls off in car number 3. 93. Owen Brown then still there in number 200, and indeed Owen's been putting it together quite nicely on one or two occasions of recent weeks, and here he is again out there driving pretty well. Richard Knight in 436. Oh, and around goes Keith Palmer in car number 105, the old water splash flying high in the air. Phil Herzog not all that happy either on the tarmac on the shale here tonight. 533 Phil Herzog then getting around there with the leader Owen Brown coming around to try and take him as a back marker. Both those cars tangle, and in fact Brown's gone, the leader has gone, both of them into the wires there. Are we going to get to change our front runner? And it's halfway next time, Mr. Starter. Are we sure which one? No. John Law then coming out there in 441 with Peter Knight there. So according to the lap charts at this stage, it's 441 in the lead, Mr. Starter, from 436 in second position. Keith Palmer in car number 105 doing his best to get the act together, but having trouble so doing. Junior Wayman in 515 whistles down the home straight past Knight, which has got to put him in a pretty good position. So it is John Lawn in 441. That's the man who's heading them at the moment with 5 this time, Mr. Starter, in fact 5. John Law, number 441 from Norwich, he's out in the lead. Second is Junior Wayman in 515. Richard Knight has been doing quite nicely in number 436, might well find himself in the placings. Junior Wayman doesn't look as if he's going to get any closer to the front in this one. And John Wright departs over on the far side again. Guess who? Phil Bicknell's involved in number 7. So it's 128 and number 7 tied up on the centre green. They break free at last with John Wright rejoining as rapidly as he can. Will Yarrow decides that enough's enough, abandons his car here on the home straight. We're into the final stages of this one with John Lawn in 4:41, harrying his way around here very nicely. He'll be pleased if he crosses the line in first place in this one. You remember that the last time he raced here, he finished up taking his car away in a plastic bag after it had been hung up on the wires down there on turn 1, and hung up there in a very big way. So it's John Lawn in car number 441. Junior Wayman in 515 manages to miss the attentions that were seemingly going to be paid to him by Phil Bicknell in number 7. Lisa Harder gets through as well in number 24. There's the checkered flag. It's up, it's down. John Lawn takes it in 4:41. Second through is Junior Wayman in 5:15. And the rest of the results, well, not until the charts have in fact been checked. Phil Herzog goes into the wires down there on the turnstile bend. Matt Bennett has disappeared in a great cloud of steam. And we have them all, Mr. Starter, thank you.
Race. Now we move back to inside row 5 in the northeast main hope. That's David Toulson, number 86 from Middleton in Teesdale, and from Nuneaton in Warwickshire outside row 5 it's number 73 Rob Cowley. Moving to inside row 6, and that's number 20 Warren Hunter from Preston in Lancashire. And now we can just see going to take his place up on outside of row 4 of the grid. That's 55 Bert Finnegan, who finished second in the World Final at Hensford last year. Outside row 6, that's 371 Shane Durrell from Malvern in Worcestershire. And inside row 7 goes to the red top driver, number 98 Les Spencer. From Luton in Bedfordshire, 362 Lionel Shaw occupies outside of row 7. Lionel got a long way to come to Boston today. Hopefully he'll be going home celebrating. 236 Michael Eyes, Liversedge, West Yorkshire based, inside of row 8. On outside of row 8 from Walsall in the West Midlands is number 221 Stephen Cooper, happier on tarmac surfaces. Inside of row 9 goes to the youngster from Brinsworth Rotherham, number 21 Mark Gilbank, just 17 years of age. Graham France, number 216, occupies outside of row 9. Inside of row 10 goes to number 215 Jeff Nichols from Melbourne Mowbray. On outside row 10 it's from Russell Humphrey, 113 from Preston, been driving very well indeed on the Shell raceways in recent weeks. Inside row 11 it's Joe Jopling, the promoter up at Hartlepool, racing at Boston for the first time. Outside row 11 from Manchester it's number 424 Mike Hayward. And inside row 12 is number 35 Graham Barr from Lichfield, Staffordshire, and outside the very experienced number 5 Johnny Goodall.
Taking it nice and steadily. Being joined actually by at least one of the qualifiers from the first semi at Hartlepool, anxious no doubt to see who's going to be at the side and immediately behind him at the big one at Bradford. Watch them as they move down that back straight. It's slow, it's controlled. They're all keen to go, but the front runners holding them back. Keep your eyes on the starter down here. That's the man who will set it off. Peter Foulding just nudging a little ahead, holding them back. Jane Bean on the outside there in 309, wondering what's going to happen. Richard Mason obviously hoping to get a little bit of a flyer as he lets a gap open up on that grid just a little bit as they come round the turnstile bend. The green flag goes down, the power is coming on, and the second semi-final is underway with Jane Bean round from the outside and roaring down the home straightaway. 309 and 33 into the first turn they go. They're not all safely away. There's a problem down here. Les Spencer has gone, and indeed the track is almost locked down here, and this could create absolute havoc down here as the leaders try to come through. There's a big massive cars there. Jane Bean is going to get caught up there. We said it was all going to happen. Peter Foulding's got caught up as well. He's gone. Oh no, my goodness me, it's all happening down here on the home straightaway. Wayne main hand has disappeared in the muck. The cars roar by. Peter Fording desperately trying to get restarted. So is Jane Beam. There's something wrong by the look of it underneath that car. So now what's going to happen? It's open wide up, and anything could happen, and it probably will. Dave Beresford shoots through. Dave Beresford in 260. Richard Mason in car number 202. Oh my goodness, Warren Hunter's there as well in car number 20, and Michael Ives in 236, all trying to get back into the fray. And we said it would be a night of surprises, and surprises it's going to be as they roll around here. Dave Beresford in car number 260, Richard Mason in car number 202 in first and second places as they stand at the moment. Into the home straight away, past the start-finish line there, all moving very rapidly. Stephen Cooper at the back in car number 221, moves out of the way as the leaders go through again. Dan Clark in car number 203 slips the car down that back straight. Mason's still there, so's Doyle in 371. But of course, those that were much fancied are towards the back of the pack, all in trouble. Right from the word go, that happened. Jane Beam was one of them in 309. David Toulson struggling a bit. He's got a flat front tyre, that's the reason. So David Toulson is going to say goodbye to his chances in car number 86. 203 and 202. Dan Clark there. Right. Oh, it's 260, Dave Beresford, that's the leader from Richard Mason in car number 202. The rest of them still very much in contention. 362, Lionel Shaw moving back down the home straight. Right. Warren Hunter could well be in that third place in car number 20 as they go down that far side. Dawson still struggling around with that flat front tyre, and several other casualties around the raceway, including Peter Fording in car number 33. 203, Dan Clark slides it round there nicely. Mason in car number 202. Off goes Jane Bean in 309 over on that far side. Beresford in car number 260. He leads down the home straight. Dan Clark in 203 goes through, but it's a question yet as to whether that can be confirmed at a later time. Certainly Richard Mason is there in 202. Number 20, Warren Hunter, could well be in the places as well, along maybe with Lionel Shaw in 362. And Russ Humphrey in 113 might well in fact have come through amongst those that are still running. Well, it started with a bang, and already we've got many of the fancied cars littered around this track, but those that are running are still moving around here rapidly, including the man who's certainly leading, 260, Dave Beresford. Now do remember that any comments made at this stage are just observations. The official result is the one that we need at the end of the day, and it's halfway next time, Mr. Starter. Beresford is there in 260, Mason certainly in 202. Dan Clark coming round there just behind Beresford in 260, 260 and 203. Dan Clark running just behind Beresford. Mason is there in 202. Then there could well be a big gap until you come to number 20, Warren Hunter, Russ Humphrey, 113, Lionel Shaw in 362. Certainly that first bend melee created all sorts of mayhem out there on the track. But we said it was going to be a good one, and indeed it is. Just look at the cars that are littered around this track. Peter Fording on the centre, Jane Bean likewise, Kev Smith in 64, Graham Barr down here in 35, all sidelined in the first few laps of this event, and those that are running, moving around this Boston Oval at an extremely good rate of knots, and the track surface holding up well, ensuring that we do have and have had a good race. Dave Beresford in 260, then coming out of turn 4 down the home straight away, round 1 and 2 into the backstretch, pulling away from the cars immediately behind him, having a problem with John Goodall at the moment in car number 5, but it won't be too much of a problem because Dave Beresford will keep a tight inside line round the turnstile bend, which he does, comes into the home straight yet again, not taking any chances. 260 Dave Beresford, Dan Clark in 203 and Richard Mason in 202 locked in their particular battle. Then the gap could be that Russ Humphreys up there in 113 along with Warren Hunter in number 20, Lionel Shaw in 362. Bumpers going in on that turn, Mason trying to get through that, caught up there. Mason's making his bid there, and they come down the home straight away. It didn't quite happen there. Beresford loses it on that turn in 260. Two cars tangling there. with Richard Mason hammering away after Beresford. Beresford going roaring down that home straight, chasing the Dan Clark motor, comes out of turn 4 into the home straightaway. 5 next time, Mr. Starter. 5 next time for 260 Dave Beresford. 260 Dave Beresford is in the lead. 202 Richard Mason in second place. Whoa! And away goes Mason down there. Who's leading? Okay, well, we'll sort it out at the end of the day, but certainly things are happening down here. Dan Clark is roaring away in 203, so is Dave Beresford in 260. All of them motoring around here quite rapidly. Clark in number 203. Remember that it's just a question of waiting for the charts to be checked. 203 though, Dan Clark goes down that back straight for Beresford in 260. Humphrey in 113. So it's all a question of waiting to see just at the end of the day when the charts have been checked. 260 Dave Beresford roaring round here extremely quickly. Beresford coming round there. Down the home straightaway into turns 1 and 2 again. All the field spread around there. Warren Hunter still going nicely, as is Lionel Shaw in 362, and it's going to be checkered flag time. Remember that the charts need to be checked before any official result is given. So we keep them going, all of them. Mike Hayward goes across the line in 424, so does Michael Ives in 236. 215 Jeff Nichols, Johnny Goodall still motoring, Dan Clark goes through, so does Rob Cowley in 73. We're getting them all down, and we can have the reds, Mr. Starter, and we need to check the charts before the official result is confirmed. Dan Clark, Dave Beresford and Russ Humphrey on the pace car. Come on, put your hands together all the way around turns 1 and 2. That's the way it's going. The top race gets underway. Yep, the wave yellows. Okay, green flag goes down, and Dave Hardy joins in 197. Owen Brown in car number 200 powers his way around 1 and 2, about to give Dave Hardy a little bit of help down the back straight, and in fact as a result of that he almost goes into the wire. So as they come past the start finish line, it could well be Craig Smith in 407 who leads from Dave Hardy in 197. Away goes Owen Brown in number 200, sliding across there, setting the marker tyres away, which are avoided, or is avoided, by Paul Harrison in number 2, but by avoiding that he went out wide. The man who tried to get beneath him on that occasion was Les Spencer in car number 98, but it didn't work for Les, and Paul Harrison went right the way around the outside and maintained the position. Still Craig Smith in 407 from Dave Johnson in 383, who again with a quick burst down the backstretch could well take over that number 1 slot. And it is Dave Johnson in 383 from John Wright in 128. 407 Craig Smith, 97 Murray Harrison. Away goes John Saish in 159, bouncing high, and the sparks are flying. Oh, and Phil Haig was almost tipped over then as he tangled with Jane Bean in number 309. Jane backs off and gets ready to restart just before the lead cars go hurtling by, and in fact Johnson does that in car number 383. John Wright in that second place in 128, Murray Harrison third in 97, and Craig Smith in car number 407 gets clobbered by Will Yarrow in 22. Just behind Will Yarrow, oh, and John Wright almost goes again. Look at that, straight into the mud and everything down there. 338, Chris Brosnick was the one of them that went there. Chris Brox up in car number 338 dived into the water splash there. John Wright did the same in car number 128, and Murray Harrison suddenly found himself on the centre green, coming back on to rejoin, but of course lost a tremendous amount of ground and is undoubtedly out of the immediate running. So Dave Johnson comes flying through in number 383 at the halfway next time, Mr. Starter. Paul Harrison is second in number 2. Les Spencer third in number 98. Murray Harrison, remember, was in trouble earlier on, but the way the field is spread might just about make it. But in fact 371 Shane Dorrell is the next in line as far as the places are concerned out there on track. Dave Johnson then in 383. Paul Harrison in number 2. Les Spencer in number 98. 1, 2, 3. 371 Shane Dorrell. 86 David Tilson might well be there, and Graham France in 216. A tremendous amount of cars from the number that actually started this consolation event for the Formula Ones already sidelined, and it's 5 next time, Steve, please. So with 5 laps to go next time for David Johnson in 383, he looks certainly at this stage to be all set for a victory in this consolation event. Paul Harrison is a quarter of a lap or more, in fact near a half a lap probably behind. Not quite. Quarter is perhaps nearer the mark. In second place in number 2. Les Spencer in number 98 is in third place. 371 Shane Dorrell fourth. 86 David Towson fifth, and sixth is Graham France in 216. Nice line all the way around this raceway here at Boston now tonight. Nothing untoward out there on track. It seems to be just right, and the cars are gripping nicely all the way around. Dave Johnson's the one that's really getting to grips with it in this consolation. He's again about to probably put a back marker behind him before that checkered flag goes down in the shape of Will Yarrow in number 22. Paul Harrison in number 2, not getting any nearer to the Dave Johnson car. Johnson would seem to have perhaps eased off just a little bit in 383, but then he can afford to do so because he's certainly not under any immediate pressure. And there's no problems in front of him either, and there certainly won't be as he goes through onto this last lap. Dave Johnson in 383 from Paul Harrison in car number 2, first and second. Then a gap, another half lap gap or so before you come to the third place man, which is number 98, Les Spencer, from Shane Dollar in 371, and 86, David Toulson, Graham France 216. Johnson takes the checkered flag. Paul Harrison is second. We're still waiting for the third man to come through. Who is it going to be? Well, it looks as if it's going to be Les Spencer in number 98 from Shane Dollar in 371. David Toulson in 86 and Graham France in 216. Very quickly again, just let's add those are only observations, nothing in your programs until everything's been checked, please. Thank you, Steve. The red, please. There, Keith Neville in car number 9 and Tim Warwick in 307 down the home straightaway extremely quickly, and there's a big one up there on the turnstile bend before even cars get started, and it looks as if car number 73, Rob Cowley, is one of them. The rest are trying to sort themselves out and rejoin if possible, but it's not happening for them. The leaders are going through that, or at least some of them are, and it's going to be a big traffic jam up there. John Goodall has gone through though in car number 5, he's through. Danny Clark comes limping round with a flat rear tyre, and again it's beginning now to sort it out just a little bit, but there's a mass of cars on that turnstile bend, too numerous at this stage to mention, but it's hoped that by the time the lead cars come through again, we should at least have a way through. John Goodall in car number 5, way ahead. They're all struggling to find a way through on that bend. Just look at the substantial lead that Goodall's got at the moment, and at anyone's standard, that is a pretty good lead to have. And remember that Johnny Goodall is an ex-star man. He's been racing for, well, in fact, I think the first time that he came out, Ben Hur won the grand final. He's been around that long. So Johnny Goodall in car number 5 then, leading the pack. From John Lawn in 441. 26, Ray Williams third. 272 could be there in that fourth place, but there's no ifs or buts about the man who's actually leading the cars at this stage, John Goodall. Certainly sorting themselves out now. 26, Ray Williams in that third place. So as they come through again, John Goodall in car number 5 the lead. The second place man about to come down the home straight now. That's John Lawn in 441. Here's the third place coming into the picture now. Ray Williams in number 26. Then 272. And could well be John Lund in number 53. After that shunt on the turnstile bend, they certainly have got themselves in a dreadful mess, unsorted themselves, and that certainly made a difference to who might be doing what throughout the rest of the proceedings in this grand final here at Boston tonight. John Lund has just gone past Williams in car number 26. John Lawn in 441. John Lawn now leads, in fact, in car number 441. Pretty the finish as John Goodall got caught up down there. 272 is in second place. That's Andy Hodgson. John Lund is third at the moment in car number 5. So John Lawn in 441, the Norwich-based driver, leads the pack down the home straight into turns 1 and 2, mixing it with the back markers there. Drivers being swept aside. It looks as the second place man is John Lund in car number 53. He's just taken 272. Andy Hodgson, Steve Hodgson is not too far behind in car number 172. Ray Williams still in the frame in car number 26. It's halfway next time, Mr. Starter. John Lawn there in 441. He's the man who leads them into the second half of this grand final here in Boston. Out of the turnstile bend, turn 4, comes the leader. 441, John Lawn. Still a very useful gap between first and second places, but maybe you certainly need that at this stage when it's John Lund in second place, tearing after you in car number 53, and certainly equally fast, or so it would appear at this stage, Andy Hodgson in 272. Again, time running out. Still Lawn in 441, but just look how that gap between first and second place has narrowed over the last couple of laps. back markers not going to impede the progress of any of those drivers, but John Lund certainly stepping it on all the way around here as Lorne in 4:41 goes down the home straight past the start finish line with 53. John Lund in pursuit all the way around. John Lund too knows that he can't afford to make any mistake, because one of the new young pretenders just behind him in the shape of Andy Hodgson in 2:72, and these three cars are now getting very close as we move well into the second half of this race. 4:41, John Lord gets a helping hand right on that turn there, and Andy Hodgson tries to do likewise, but it's John Lund who goes all the way through. John Lund goes through there. Hodgson does likewise in 2:72, and Lord finds himself down into third place, but it's John Lund who leads in car number 53 round that turn, and away they all go. Only that turn. Hodgson disappears as well, and it's 5 next time, Mr. Stardust, so 5 laps to go, and John Lund has found his way through all the way, just checking as to what the situation is over on that far side, with the car right in the middle of the racing line, but so far everyone has managed to avoid that car. Let's hope that that's the case before the checkers go down. We don't want to see a problem. 53 then, John Lund leads. 1:72 now in second place, Steve Hodgson, and 2:72 Andy in third place. More trouble down here as cars go bouncing into the wires on the home straight. Still Lund knowing car number 53, threading his way through the back markers without any trouble at all. No one making any impression on the gap, because it's a big one now, and surely this is going to be a win for John Lund in car number 53. From 2:72 and a 1:72. That's how it was last time round. Let's see if that's still the case. Doesn't look as if it is, but we'll check that, double check it next time through. There is Lund in 53. Oh, and Mike James is going to do his best to put the number 371 Shane Dollar car away. Yep. 113. Russ Humphries now moved up into third place, incidentally, so he too is doing pretty well. Looks as if it's going to be John Lund. Big gap. Almost half a lap, in fact, between first and second place. Russ Humphrey chasing Andy Hodgson all the way in 2:72. And there might still be a bit of a surprise in store for Andy Hodgson in 2:72 before that checkered goes down. We're moving through onto the last lap now. Lund in 53, clearly out in front from 2:72 Andy Hodgson, and 113 Russ Humphrey. Oh, there's a problem over on the far side. Not a serious one. Lund then coming out of turn 4 for the last time. Over the line he goes. John Lund in car number 53 from 2:72 Andy Hodgson, and 113 Russ Humphrey. And the Reds, Mr. Starter, please. Remember that John Lund really needs to motor to get into the points, which he probably will do. So they come into the home straight then. Who's leading the pack? It's going to be Keith Palmer, by the look of it, in number 105 from 338 Chris Broxham, along with 172 Steve Hodgson and 113 Russ Humphrey. Dave Beresford making a little progress in car number 260, and Paul Harrison gets himself into trouble in number 2 there. Is he going to go? No, he's up. Yes, he is. Around he goes, being forced broadside round there, and the other car involved was Junior Wayman, by the look of it, in 515. He gets restarted, Paul Harrison doesn't, and whilst all that was going on, the lead cars go through yet again. Oh, 105, 172 and 113, first, second, third, from 260 and 417, and Jane Bean in 309 could be there. Interesting to see what's developing as far as these places are concerned. Going to get a change up front in a moment or two, and it could change quite dramatically as well. Palmer doing his best to hold on, but didn't quite make it. That could well mean that we've now got Steve Hodgson in 172 in the lead. Oh, and away with that Starman. Looks as if he was going to go straight to the fence there. Who was it? Was it Beresford? Oh, was it Jane Bean? Beresford, in fact, struggling down the home straight there and lost time as he zigzagged there, trying to get it desperately back under control. He's done so now and goes herring in pursuit of the cars that passed him by so swiftly on that last lap. 172, 113 and 417 first, second and third. Jane Bean up there in 309, but she gets a little bit of a helping hand down the home straight from Andy Hodgson in 272. Could be a little bit interesting now as they come rolling through. Let's see, 172, and it's halfway next time round, Mr. Starter, please. So as we go again into the second half, Junior Wayman pulls off in 5.15. It's Steve Hodgson, the leader, in 172 from Mike James in 4.17 and Ross Humphrey in 1.13. Then we come to a gap until Andy Hodgson turns up on the scene in fourth place in 2.72. Then Jane Bean in 3.09 and Dave Beresford in 2.60. 53 John Lund begins to collect a few points now as he moves into the lower places in car number 53. The leader still up there. And really turning it on all the way around. Mike James moving after him rapidly, and he could in fact get a few yards back there as he goes down the back straight, because Hodgson Steve went round the outside of Palmer, who immediately goes plummeting straight into the fence right opposite race control on the back stretch. It is still 172 and 417, but it's 5 next time, Mr. Starter, for those two cars. And there's a ding-dong of a battle developing there. Russ Humphrey goes down here right in front of race control in 113. Bumpers going in hard there as Mike James gets stuck in there, and he moves through on the inside there, neck and neck, door handle to door handle around that turn. Where they come into the home straight, it's Mike James in car number 417 from Steve Hodgson in 172. Hoping to get close enough to return the compliment before that checkered flag goes down. The rest of them moving around here rapidly, but those are the two that you need to keep an eye on as Mike James winds it up all the way down the far side, tries to open up a gap between first and second places as they go around the turnstile turn. Into and out of turn 4, 417 and 172 in first and second places. Mike James really turning it on all the way around, and indeed is Sir Steve Hodgson in 172. 272, Andy Hodgson in third place. And those three have now broken away from the rest of the pack. John Lund still in pursuit of a few extra points and a bit of extra prize money, and he might well get it, because he's moving up on Beresford now in car number 260. Mike James roaring around here at a fair old rate in 417. He's drawing away now from Steve Hodgson in 172. Andy Hodgson in that third place, but just look what's happening a little bit further back, because John Lund in car number 53 moves up on the cars immediately in front of him, and Dave Beresford could be the first in the firing line if Lund can get close enough. Jane Bean is holding up the progress at the moment of Dave Beresford, who cannot in fact get close enough to do much about that car immediately in front of him, and that's giving an opportunity maybe for John Lund before that flag goes down. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen now or very soon as the checkered flag is prepared. But keep your eye a little bit further back as the lead car comes out of turn 4. Is the old Heathrow coming? There's an effort to try and put it in down there. It doesn't quite work. Mike James crosses the line first. It's 309, 260 and 53, or in that order. And that was not a bad way to finish the evening's proceedings at all. Thank you, Steve. You can read it if you would, please.